But what are 3 pieces of gear that you thought would be game changers, and now they're a bust? They're collecting dust somewhere. Let the audience know, because you got that knowledge.
I feel so bad. I'm about to say this, and I know for a fact if there's still people that's in my academy, I know y'all about to come at me. You
recommend it?
But dude, not only did I recommend it, but the video went viral on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. Like, it blew up all over the internet.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking
about. I doubt it, bro. I doubt it. This has been, when I got it, it made sense, and it was the best thing I ever thought of. I was like, yo, this is it. I went all in. I bought 12. Okay. Do you want to guess, or you want me to just give it to you?
Oh, well,
people in the chat
12,
saying gimbal.
I'm gonna say it was an audio. Was it an audio thing?
Nah, not an audio thing.
Okay.
You won't guess it. But it's the Varipole, bro. I took it to a wedding. I used the Varipole. I made a video. It made so much sense. Like,
Justin, thank you for that.
Hide these stands.
I was about to get one, bro, because of you.
It makes sense for certain things, but because I was like, oh, I'm gonna take these to weddings, I'm gonna hide my lights, I'm gonna do this with it. Man, I kid you not, I got in my van, I've got a box that's got 6 of them. The other ones are in my garage. I've got 6 of them that they're literally just taking up space in the box. I take them every wedding because
send them to me, Doc.
This will be the one I'll use it. Say no more. They're great. They're great for studio stuff though. Like if you need it, to tidy up, like you don't want to use light stands, they're perfect for that. But the way I was planning on using them, I actually prefer using my flat base, my umbrella bases. They're just it's the same small footprint. They're quicker. The Varipole, you got, like, if you had to make an adjustment, that's the thing that drives me nuts. If you got to make an adjustment, you got to like pop it off, lower it, and then eyeball it, and then go all, like, dude, it's not something for efficiency. It's something where you set it and it's gonna be like that. You're good, like studio work. So that's like my number one thing. I pushed it so heavy. And so many people, like, still right now, like when I first made that video, I think my first payout was like $800 from B&H. And it was from Varipole sales, like commission sales from Varipole. And so like when you say like the number one thing, like, dude, I thought that was it still is a good idea for certain venues. But for me, they've been just sitting there. Like I haven't used them at a wedding since I made that video that went viral using it.
Let me see if I can actually pull this up real quick. Because we got Mr. Camera Junkie. For him, it was the gimbal. You know what, Mr. Camera Junkie? I do think that the gimbals have been, maybe overused, but it's still got a place in my workflow. So, like, I love my RS3 Pro. What about you, Justin?
I think I always buy the newest DJI gimbal. So either way, right? I always upgrade it because the algorithms do get better and the stabilization gets better. But I agree. Like I think most people show up or they start filming and they want to find a camera that shoots in 120 frames a second. They throw it on the gimbal and then they just run around all day with this super smooth, extra slow-mo footage. So it's overplayed. I don't think gimbal shots are utilized the way it's used in like films. Like when they want a tracking and a steady shot, it's intentional. And a lot of us filmmakers, we just like, oh, I gotta go shoot this commercial at this Muay Thai place. And then they show up with a camera on the gimbal. And it's like, you're filming fighters. Shouldn't this be more action-y? No, I'm gonna shoot it in the gimbal. And I'm also gonna shoot it in 120.
4K 120.
Yeah, like, so, but LiDAR is a reason to upgrade to the 4. Like, y'all probably seen my video.
Oh yeah.
Y'all seen it. So LiDAR that's a game changer. Like that technology and how accurate, fast, and reliable it is, especially if you're shooting on a camera like a Red or even a regular camera that has autofocus, but you want to use like an anamorphic lens, which is always hard to pull focus. Like it's dope for that.
So for me, the law of diminishing returns. So my first like lens that I bought that didn't come with a kit was the 50 1.8. Dope, $125 lens. Dope. I thought, man, I needed to level up. I need to get the 1.4, 50 1.4. And it was also dope. Then I was like, man, we got to go all the way. We got to get that 50 1.2. And to me, while I love the red ring, I love the flex, I use my 50 never. So it's a great lens. It's a great lens. But to me, I'm more of a 35-85 shooter. 35-85. At least me before mirrorless. And so my 50, it gets almost no love. And the EF 50 1.2 is soft. It's my softest lens. And so that one is collecting dust. I don't think it's a bust of a lens because 50 is my favorite focal length, especially since it's what I started off with. But sometimes going to the max on a lens, it doesn't always provide like the max amount of look. You know what I mean? Like if you're already shooting on a prime, going up to that 1.2 may not give you the 10 times the price, the 10 times the look. So that was for me. What's your number 2?
I actually was going to say that. If you punch full screen on me real quick, you'll notice we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lenses that are just chilling back there in the background. And then you can't see it over here, but we got another 4 that are chilling over there. To me, I feel like my second purchase or just like piece of gear that I thought I absolutely needed that's going to just make everything better was thinking I needed a new lens. I love my Irix lenses. I thought they were great when I had them. I still got one that's chilling over there, or one's over there, one's over there. Like, I love them. They're great lenses. But that was the thing that I kept feeling like what you said. It was like, I use it never now. Like, I thought, oh, I need this 150 millimeter macro. I'm going to be getting these macro shots going to look super cinematic. I haven't taken that lens to a wedding in probably a year and a half. And so there's a lot.
What do you use? What do you use then? Like, what's gets the most love?
Oh, most love? The 24-105 f2.8.
The 2.8?
That Canon lens is the lens. Like, that's what everybody said, oh, I would love a 24-105 2.8. We got it. And it's dang good. Like, like, I almost cussed. I didn't want to cuss, but bro, it's that good where I'm willing to cuss on live because it's that good. It's not too sharp. The edges look great. Like, there's very little chromatic aberration. Like, I really haven't even noticed chromatic aberration. The focus ring is like dampened. So when you turn it, it doesn't feel like a regular photo lens where it's like whipping, it's
clicking,
actually like, it's smooth. Like, it feels like you're turning it a cine lens. It's got the stepless aperture ring. It's got the control ring at the front so you can program it to do whatever you want. It's got the custom buttons, stabilization. I'm telling you, they put everything they could in that lens. And to me, that's what stays on my red unless I'm doing like an interview and I throw on the anamorphic. But all day, one lens, I'm good to go.
What lens were you talking about before that you were like, these lenses are so dope? And I was like, RF?
RF?
Before the power
outage.
outage.
The G Master. The G Master.
Oh, yeah. Ain't nobody care about no G Masters.
Nah, dude. Like, in terms of like, I think in glass, like, I feel like Sony would make a lot more money if they were like, yo, G Master available in like, I don't know, EF mount or something. I don't know. Like, if they released it for everybody else to use, I think it looks good. But then, I don't think I would trade it in for or replace my 24-105. Like, that's the lens that all the other brands need to try to like stop producing 24-70s. Sigma dropped that, like, I don't know, what was it, 24-45 or whatever, f1.8.
1.8.
Throw that out. Like, just get rid of it. You should have made a 24-105 f2.8 and you would have blew up the industry because that's the lens that's missing from all the other ecosystems.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think my second one, if I really, really kind of had to dig deep, this is a small one, and it's not even that big of a deal. But do you remember back in the day, like those, it's like the white balance lens cap that you put on in front of your lens?
Oh my God. And snap the photo and then you pull it off?
Yeah. It's dope, but Canon, you're killing me, bro. Like, if I could pull one thing from Sony, I'd pull a few things from Sony. But if there's one thing I could pull from Sony, is how they set their white balance in their cameras. Like, when you go to set the custom white balance, it'll pull a square up on the screen, and you can point the square at something gray, and it does it. But with Canon, you got to take a picture, You have to assign the white, and it's too much. The process is too much. Canon, if you're listening, change how you capture white balance. But yes, that was another thing where I thought, man, I'm going to get perfect white balance on every shot. And then I realized, well, it's not even that I realized. I feel like with 10-bit 422, while you still need to hit your white balance pretty close, for the most part with the C-Log and with the bit depth, it's not as necessary to get perfect white balance in camera, or as perfect.
You know, like, not for nothing, you brought up another door that I got to walk through real fast. And this is why I love Red, because just like you said, you know, it's 10-bit, 422, like, you got enough flexibility, yada, yada, yada. With Red, I don't even have to think about that. And I know some people are going to be like, oh, just use your camera right. Just set white balance in camera. But the point that I'm making is it's
drop
less
25K.
Yes, right now. Like, but seriously, like, I traded in all that. It's one less mental decision. I can show up.
Yeah.
I can put this camera into a teenager's hand and tell them to go shoot. And they don't got to worry, oh, what's ISO? Like, no, you don't got to worry about that. Oh, what's white balance? You don't got to worry about that. You know what I mean? Just go shoot. And that's it. Just go shoot. So I had to walk through that door, because you're dealing with white balance issues, and I'm over here filming the whole wedding at 5600 because I can. Just saying. All right, moving on.
One day, Porter. One day.
My third item, my third item, I think is probably underestimated, or just I wasted money on. I feel like I said this before, but you know how many sliders I bought to realize that sliders are just not a tool that you need to buy.
Is it because it's too big and bulky?
I think it's just the type of shot you're going to get with a slider and the amount of setup time. It defeats the purpose. Like, it doesn't, like you were saying, right? Like, your lens, the 51.2, didn't give you that 10 times the price quality, right? Where it was like, whoa, I've never used my slider and then had a reaction like, oh my God, that B angle was so great sliding. Like, it's very, and then even then you're only cutting to it, or you either cut to it too much because it's sliding. So like, your whole interview is just back and forth like this the whole time. Or you don't cut to it enough. So you end up setting up all this extra stuff because you thought it was going to be cool to do this parallax slider shot, and it's not. You didn't, you know, it's just, I think it's great if you're doing product stuff, or, you know, little things like that, but I don't think I would ever recommend that to somebody like, oh, I'm gonna go do interviews, I need a slider. No, you don't. You just need a tripod.
Yeah, no, I am going to, in this, I bought a cheap slider. Thankfully, I didn't buy is it like the Rhino?
Yeah,
is that what it is?
That's the one sitting on the ground.
That's the one you
right
got? Yeah. That's a couple $1,000. The ARC system.
Dude, I had the audacity to buy the case with it too for an extra $400. So I just knew I was going to be pulling up to places with my slider. Like,
yeah. No. I will say I bought like a cheap one, maybe like a GVM slider that had like the little bar on it that could give you that little parallax deal. Yeah. But like mechanical, not like the fancy ones or whatever. And even still, man, I use that for like, oh gosh, like 1 or 2 shoots, and it is now just sitting in my corner. So 100% don't invest
in a slider.